Welcome to Pep Warfield's Creation Studio. This is Neil Warfield. You can also Sorry, I had to bring up my phone. So you can also see me on Facebook as the wood turns, musings in wood. So I am making a candle lantern, and I made a couple of these before. This was my original style. I put the ridges in to stabilize the wood because it wanted to crack. So I came up with a new process which shows off the beauty of the wood a bit more. It minimizes cracking and warping, and that's what we're going to be making. It looks really nice. I'm not done finishing this, and actually spraying on the finish made it warp a little bit, but it is paper thin, and you can see light shining through it. That's what we're doing tonight. Bear with me, I'm a little out of breath. Been doing this all day, getting these ready. I actually hollow these things out with a 4-inch, 4 5/8 inch Forstner bit. So that's the bit right there. I had to do some modifications to my lathe to power that thing, but I got it, and I can hollow this one out. It took probably 30 minutes. So a bit easier to do that. I don't know if it's easier, but it makes a nicer cut. Straight, which I need to get this really thin. So now what I need to do, get my ruler, try not to knock stuff on the floor. I also need my pencil, which of course I cannot find. I got 1,000 pencils in here and I keep losing them. Never thought to look in a pencil holder. I just want to mark. So we're at a little bit shy of 5 inches, because I don't want to cut this the whole way through. So the bottom, do it this way. Bottom is about here. So I'm going to turn this on so I can get a good mark on that so I can see it. And I didn't make it dark enough so I can't see it while I'm turning it. What I want to do is just draw a line around the circle, around the circumference, so I can tell where it's at. So this is apple wood. It is fresh off the tree. So it's very green and very wet. Makes it a little easier to turn really thin. So I will have to do a video or do a go live on the modifications I made to the lathe. I did add a safety shutoff switch down here, which turns power off. I just wish it would also stop this. I need to put a brake on it somehow. I'll get there though. I have several videos on how I made the controller for this. Please take a look at those. If you're joining us new, please please subscribe and click the little bell so you can get notifications. And I'll get started. So what I have to do first is thin this down close, and then I'll shine the flashlight in so I can see how thin I'm getting it. Tricky part is getting it thin enough without going through it. All right, so if anybody's joining us, please comment or ask questions. I'll look up at from time to time just to see if there are anything. Doesn't look like we have anybody on yet, but hopefully soon. And if not, this will get recorded. All right, so we get started. Crank up the speed. First thing I have to do, a little bit of a wobble to it, so it's a little off balance. I just need to clean that up some. Hopefully the camera won't bounce too much. And I'm on. Okay. The trick of doing this is not to dig into the wood too far. Put much pressure on it. The way it gets cool on the wood and send it flying. Done that a few times. Not fun. I'm not sure how many people are going to join at this time of day. I have a lot to do and I haven't gone to sleep, so I'll do it now. Plus I need to do it in the dark. Can't do this during the day. And I just erase my line. That's okay, I'll redraw. Okay, covered in wood pavement. So I have already sanded the inside, so that's ready to go. I'm going to do this a little bit more, and then we'll start digging in. Probably the worst part about doing this is wood shavings down the curb. I don't have to cover up. Been bleeding anybody? My wife told me when she sees these little pieces of wood shavings around the house, she thinks they're tapeworms from the cat and dogs. So, I've got my flashlight ready. It's not going to take long to get there. Bear with me a second. Alright, so my other lights off. I was doing one night, and it was close to being done, and I had the lights out and accidentally caught my tool in the end, and some keep flying, chips flying right past me. Scared the bejesus out of me. I think speed up some. You find a better way to make my camera so I can balance. That's too fast. Alright, now let me go. Part of the shaking is my pulley I made slightly off balance. That's something I have to fix. Put it back there. Now, where I put my pencil again. Okay, it takes a while for this to slow down. Slightly shy of 5. Let me do it this way. Missed it. Let me turn it back on. Give me a second. I'll put it at 5. Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah. Turn on. There you go. I'm doing it this way, so yeah, bottom's here. All right, so let's get started. Let's start having some fun. Sharpened all my tools. I'm ready to go. Speed up. The camera's going to bounce all over the place. I will figure something out today. I do apologize for doing more last few weeks. I'm crazy and that's what I'm scared myself. I will get back into it. I also need to fix my lathe. A bunch of things. All right, let's see. I'm going to turn the top first. Not the whole way, just I need something to stabilize the wood. A little bit thicker at the top. About as thick as I want, and then I can go the rest of the way. They have 2 more of these to turn. Wait, let's do them tonight. Stay live. I don't know. I may need to take a break or take a nap. I'm actually pretty tired. Alright, so I think it's time to turn the lights out. Again, if anybody's joining and you want to ask a question or say hey, whatever, just go up in the chat. Turn the lights out. I'm not quite there yet. Well, yeah, I should just good. It's close. Oh, I'm not quite there yet. Sounds like it. Well, pretty like that's all. I may actually need new batteries in my flashlight. That sucks. I'm just very carefully squeezing a little bit at a time. I may have to slow down because if I go too fast, the wood will spin and crack. If you're joining me and you see a dark screen, that's me turning in the dark, and I can just start seeing light shining through. There. So that's tells me about. Usually when I turn, I don't look at where the spool is. I look at the top anyway. See how my edges go. Alright, so I can start working my way down. Yeah. Sciatic is acting up right now. It's hurting a little bit. Down some. My laptop screen is kind of messed up a little bit, so I get my way. Again, if you're joining me, now this is kind of dark test. Turning in the dark. Looking at candle lantern. As you can see, shining through pretty soon. It's a delicate touch. Turn down the fan. Just about there. We have to grab my spool. I'm going to actually turn on the light for a sec and grab my spool. Light curtain back. If I need to see this anyway. I'll be right back. So, so, like I said, if anybody out joining me, welcome. Say hi, ask questions. whatever. So I'm getting close. Uh, Getting close to the point where I can. Hey, David. I see you online. Nice to see somebody online. Of course, it's my fault for doing this at wee hours of the morning. Let me grab a drink. I'm getting close to the point where we'll be able to see through it, so my flashlight batteries don't die. And again, this is what the end product's going to be. And this one I didn't see on the inside as well as I should have, but it's thin enough that put a candle in there. It looks really nice. So, ouch. Yeah, like I said, my sciatic's acting up today, but I'm going to go ahead and crank this up again and turn the lights out and hope my flashlight. Might have to grab some batteries, but we'll see. It's about thick as a couple sheets of paper, actually. And you'll see shortly how, hopefully, I'm going to grab another flashlight. I'll just get some tape quick and tape it to this one. This one's not really bright enough for me to work with. Ouch. Ow. So bear with me a quick second. Get some electrical tape here. Take this whole thing up. I can go. David's asking a question about minimum width. Probably about a sheet of thickness of a sheet of paper. It's tough because once it dries, it thickens up a little bit. So one of the things I started doing, I used to do this, I don't know why I stopped, is I would boil the wood in a mixture of wax, usually beeswax, and boiled linseed oil. I have a rice cooker that my wife is going to throw away, and I probably say this every time that I talk about this, and I decided to try it one day. And you put the wood in there, and you can actually see the water bubbling out of it. So really, really cool. And I haven't had a piece crack yet. Doing this so thin, it does work a little bit. Let me turn the lights out and see how this looks. Yeah, it's a little better. So you can almost see the, yeah, you can see the light shining through. And that's probably, I should have a micrometer. That's probably about as thick as a stiff piece of cardboard. So, oops. Gotta watch it, don't kick that. Put a safety switch on here to kill power to the lathe. So, accidentally bumped it earlier. So no, this isn't totally balanced on here. So you see there's some light spots and some dark spots as I turn it. I try to get as much of that off. Sometimes I have to resort to just manually sanding the darker spots to open it up some. I'm going to crank this up again. Again, I can't go too fast or it'll warp. Try to get it fast enough so it doesn't take the camera too much. This would be a good lesson in harmonics. I notice different speeds of turning it. Sometimes it'll shake, sometimes faster. It'll balance out, get that shaking. So we correct this down to translucent. I will look up from time to time to check for questions or comments. However, I gotta remember not to do that while my knife is in the way. So the base is actually about an inch thick. I prefer it a little thinner, and that's what I got tired of cranking the bit in so it to hollow it out. I used to hand hollow these out, which was fine, but it was really hard to get a consistent straight cut all the way down. You didn't get as much. Okay, that scares me. Been a little careless and got too close to the wood, so I probably have a nice nick in there somewhere. It gets hard to see this sometimes when all the shavings get in the way. I can do, once it's hollowed out and it's standing inside, and go back a little bit before I tell you that. One of the issues with boiling and oil wax mix is when you go to sand it, you gotta waste a lot of paper getting that wax off. Now, a friend of mine says that to use um, dry wood shavings, stuff I'm cutting off of here, to rub on there, and that'll take it off. I haven't tried that yet, but that's good. So, can you see that? Yeah, starting to get it. Gotta get it closer. And I'm still trying to figure out all this YouTube stuff. I would like to be able to switch cameras and stuff like that. I haven't tried that because I'm not sure how to do it. I have to figure it out. Or find somebody that knows how to do it. I actually have a scout recruit that has like all the professional software and stuff. So I may hit him up to tell me how to do some of that. I will. Wish I had the camera. I need to make a better mount for the camera. I'd love to have this close so I can see what I'm doing. Mount it to my head or something. So there we go. Starting to brighten. I am just taking a minuscule layer off at a time. I take a really sharp tool to do that. Very little pressure on the wood. Now with a really sharp tool, you can get away with not having to sand much. It's good because I hate sanding. here. I need to work on this side first. Because the thinner you get, the less support you have. Now, once once this is finished, yeah, once it's finished, I will do some light sanding and seal it with actually polyurethane. Yes, I could do resin. David asked if I could finish it off in resin to add strength. I haven't worked with resin yet, but I imagine I could. I actually need to get some to play with at some point. But actually, and I'll show you once we're done with this. Once this wood is slightly green still, even though I boiled it, it will thicken slightly. So I do try to get it really thin, but it does have still a bit of strength. I imagine you can't like sit on it, but it makes a lot of noise too when you're doing it. But when I was doing this without boiling the wood, I had first couple of them just cracked and warped. I had to put those ridges in. Never finished the story about the race cooker. So we had a race cooker. I think my wife had it for years. And you fill it with water, put rice in, plug it in, and it cooks the rice for you. He was going to throw it out because we didn't have room for it. I was like, well, don't throw it out. I'll take it down to my shop. This is when I first got started. And I was watching YouTube videos and listening to people trying to learn how to turn. And they were talking about turning green wood and what you have to do to dry it, and crack it. And you rough it out and you let it sit for months till it dries, and then you can finish it. So I'm not waiting around that long. So I had the oil, had the wax. I'm like, well, I'm gonna try this, see what happens. I don't know what it's gonna do. Seems the condition of wood pretty nicely. I actually have to run it through several cycles. Man, almost as far as I can go right here. I'm not going to go too far because then I can go through it. And that's not fun. Still trying to get used to my new teeth. I don't have them in right now. I found that when I work on stuff like this, well, in general, I clench my teeth, but I really clench my teeth on stuff like this, and that just makes everything hurt. Plus, it's 2 a.m., so I don't really feel like putting them on. I also, when doing this, have to clean the tip of my tool off, so you can see what I'm doing. And sometimes you get a piece of wood fiber stuck on the tip and it doesn't want to do anything. It's stuck on that fiber. How's the sound, David? Can you hear me okay? So I don't know if I would really want to put a candle, a big candle in this. I'd actually put a tea light candle in one of the other ones I made. And it looks pretty good. So the idea of a bigger candle that would produce a lot of heat and something made out of really thin wood. I don't know. That might be a bad idea. Um, you know what? I was going to. I was going to say, right, so let's cut down the back down. Having a cool cat when I'm sitting this close to it kind of scare me. So he tried to stay out of the line of fire, but I'm looking and stuff like this. All right, I'm working the bottom yet, and then work on the base. And we're done. Usually, when you have a lathe and you work on something that, like a bowl, you have a tendon that fits into the chuck to hold it, or a mortar. Um, I can never remember if the mortar is the thing that sticks out or what. Anyway, here's the thing that sticks out from the bottom and the cut plate onto it. So I have to cut that off with a saw, and then I'm going to go a bit thinner here, kind of clean up the face a little bit. It's probably go in the dark and the light. Thinner down here. There we go. Open it up a little bit more. I am using poly to finish it. I'm just thinking about your questions. I think the polyurethane also adds a bit of strength to it. Now, this one's about 5 inches deep, 5.5 deep, because I know I measured it, and then about 7 inches tall. And the inside diameter I know is 4 5/8. I think I just had quite a piece of wood off there. I just picked up a piece of dirt from underneath. All I know, it doesn't take long to, a few hours to make one of these. And it is mostly enjoyable. It takes longer for me to make the lathe work for me. Trying to get the upside to fully drive the portion of that. And I had to figure out a better way to mount the pulley because it kept coming loose. I finally got it all figured out. I can change pulleys in about 5 minutes, which is good. Try to do all the pouring out at one time. I'm not switching back and forth. I will probably do a better video on that. Maybe later today. It's kind of cool. Trying to get rid of some of this line. So you see it flickering, that's because there's some thicker areas and lighter areas. I think we're going to turn it off. So you can see, you can take a look at. Yeah, I did catch at one spot. All right. Yeah, we got a hole in it. So I got a little bit of a tool catch right there, and I pulled a piece of wood out. Not a big deal. I take on the Bob Ross attitude. Happy little mistakes. Yeah, it's a little thicker on this side. I can hand sand that a little bit to get some of that out. Probably what I'm going to do now. I'm not sure. I can probably go a little bit thinner. I just have to be careful of that hole right there. I'm going to turn the light on so you can see what the outside looks like. So I will sand this with the, I'll probably start with 100 grit and go up to 600. Just get a nice smooth surface on it. About some of the wood grain. I love that wood grain. And then seal it up. I got little bugs inside. They're coming to the light. I thought mosquito season was over. All right, let's finish. That's still pretty cool. I like these. I didn't think I could get them this thin. All right. can do it without causing any more damage. Problem is, when it gets this thin, it's hard to know how much pressure to put on. If you don't put enough on, it doesn't cut. And if you put too much in, you get a hole. But I'll have to finish the base to make it look a little nicer. And down a little bit more. There's much surface on this that you can see. Clean this up a little bit more. Yeah, I just made that hole bigger. So I can't do any more where I'm gonna tear it apart once it gets in that hole. Bummer. But still, looks good. Alright, I'm gonna clean up this face. It takes a while for that camera to adjust. Hope it didn't blind anybody. You know what? I'm gonna make this. I'll just turn it up. I should have done the base first. I try to do each one a little differently. So they all have a different type of base on it. Adds uniqueness to it. Almost looks like a model version of the 3 Mile Island nuclear power plant cooling tower. Grew up with. Usually finish at a higher speed and get a better view of the cut. You can see that with having the top so thin. All right, I'm gonna do a little something. Sucks getting old. It's 100 grit. You don't want to go too much grit and some more. I go through a lot of sandpaper. It doesn't take much to get this part smoothed out. I got a little hump right there. I got to up. Not like that. Oh, I think I messed it up a little bit there. I'll try to a little smoother. If I did faster, I wouldn't have as many tool marks to stand out. That's kind of cool watching myself. I never did that before. Get that speed down some. I don't like that. I'm gonna turn the lights off for a second so I can see where that hump is. Try to turn it down and go through. Yeah, I'm fine. All right. Sorry about that blinding me again. Funny to see the delay. I have my phone tuned to the channel so I can see what I'm doing, and there's that like 7-second delay or whatever it is. And I can actually put some pressure on this. I would put more on right here, but I don't want to with that hole. I have to go up to lower grit, or down to a lower grit, down here. Get some of these tool marks out. Basic things how to I go through a lot of sandpaper. But a sharp tool and a high speed, you can get some pretty good. Out of the way. Right, I'm going to grab a higher grit. Cut this off quick. Fell down on the ground. Keep going. I know these are not my wife's good scissors. A good way to draw out a pair of scissors is cutting sandpaper. I always like to fold my nut twice. Make it a little better. There you go. A little better grip on it. Then I feel like I get more use out of it because I can unfold it and refold it. Feels like it lasts longer. Probably doesn't. I had wondered if you've got something like a big bucket made like a rock tumbler that you put wood in with sand, if that would like just throw it in there and start it tumbling, if that would stand it for you. I don't know. I thought about trying it. It's a 5-gallon bucket. Got some rollers and some sand or sand or polishing grit. That would smooth up the wood. Be an interesting try. Alright, I'm gonna sand just a little bit more. I'm gonna just dump it up there. Trying to get some of these tool marks out. They may actually be out. And actually, once I spray the polyurethane on, they disappear. Some right there I need to clean up. It was kind of smooth. Yeah, we're pretty close. Yeah, I got 2 little holes on there. So those white marks right there, I don't know if you can see them. That's from the wood expanding and getting dust in the cracks. Those right there as well. Can't really clean that up. That's why I was spinning a little too fast when I was. So, yeah, I wish I had a way of measuring that. That would probably be about, maybe, trying to estimate, probably about that thick. Maybe 2 thickness. So it's just pretty thin. I'm a little congested this morning too. Spending too much time in the shop without a mask on. All right, so let me grab some tire grip and then we'll be done. Did some sandpaper shopping yesterday, so I'm excited. This is 1000 grit. Could rub this with beeswax. I don't know. I like the way beeswax, the warmth of beeswax, and you finish that way, but it doesn't last. It doesn't get real shiny either, but it's nice warm. Maybe I'll do that with this piece. So, there's also another some wood turner, and I don't remember the guy's name, started making this, and you can make it yourself. It's called Obi Shine Juice. I don't know how he figured it out, but you get equal parts of denatured alcohol, shellac, and oil linseed oil. Blow, as they call it. and you mix it together and you just wipe it on while it's spinning, and it becomes a friction polish, and you can get a super shiny finish, super smooth and shiny. Um, yeah, I'm going to beeswax this one. If I can find my beeswax. Oh, here's something. So, it's over here. I just have it. I got things all the time. I usually end up behind the way. There it is. On the floor right where I left it. I gotta get ready. All right. We'll just let the beeswax work its way in. I feel like Bob Ross. Yeah, I've strayed sometimes and turned to the dark side. Even got a Darth Vader mask. This actually goes a little better at higher speeds, but I can't do it. I can turn it up a little bit. Try to get it becomes a friction. The friction melts the wax into the wood. Right now, I'm just actually coating the wood, and then I use a cloth to make a friction into the. I'll get returned to the dark side. Good one, David. All right, I gotta take this off. I don't want to get my hand wedged in there. This might be a little difficult with that hole and not being able to turn it very fast. You can get a really nice smooth finish doing this. Just once it starts warming up and then it spreads across the wood, you can always heat the wood up and do that too. There you go. I think it's nice and shiny. But again, it's beeswax. It doesn't always work out that well. And come to think of it, coating a piece of wood that you're putting a candle in with wax, I don't know, is that a good idea? In fact, I had a friend of mine say, "You put a candle in that?" Oh, yeah, at your own risk. Although somebody did say, well, I think we're going to put the color changing LEDs in ours. I know, that would be really cool. But I may still finish this with a poly because I can't put enough pressure on it to melt. Although, I saw this trick on New Yankee, not your New Yankee, the Woodwright shop. Is you just grab a handful of, that's pretty. Except for those holes, this is pretty. Just grab a handful of wood shavings scrub the wood with it, and that's enough to polish it. So let's try that. I know one of the recommendations between your next to last and final coat for finishes, like shellac and poly, if you want to get a really fine finish, is you get a piece of not newspaper, uh, brown paper bag, and you rub that on, rub it with that to get a really good finish. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to do that. I have to spray it. Nice thing about having it on the lake though is I use shellac. I have a can of spray shellac. Shake it up good. You get spinning like this, and it's a little easier to apply your finish. Especially if you go too fast. I'll let that dry and spray some more. So that's turned off. That's actually it for right now. I may do another live in a little bit once this is dry. And get a couple more coats on. I actually need to sit down for a bit. I may even lay down. It's what, 2:30? Took about 45 minutes to do this. Long part is finishing it. So that's it for now. Thank you for joining. Do you think more people would watch if you used a poplar wood? Next time. If I had some, I would try it. I use apple because it's available. I have a cherry tree I need to cut down. I have some ash, but that's really pain in the butt to turn. My brother has some poplar, but I haven't been down there because of this COVID stuff. I need to actually walk through the woods and see what I can find. Maybe I took the wrong route. Maybe. You're full of it tonight. I would if I could. So let me think about that. It probably would. I just got that. Oh my gosh, I'm a little slow. Wow, I'm slow tonight. Yeah. So I think on that note, I'm gonna sign off. Damn shrub. Oh my gosh, you're really full of it. I'll get to the root of the problem. All right. So thank you for joining. I may be on later today. I got several more of these to make and quite a few other things as well. So I will try to get back on either recording or live. Again, this is Pep Warfield's Creation Studio. I am Neil Warfield. You can also find me on Facebook as the World Turns, Musings with Wood. And you can email me directly at musingswithwood@gmail.com. Yes, that was interesting. You guys, whoever joined, I know it's just one. Take care. Have a good day. Have a good night. Until next time. Until next time you log in. I'm going to leave on that note.